Well, hello there. Super excited to be here with you, Inga Faye here. Today, we are going to talk about the 4 P's of introverted leadership. Now, I think I've mentioned this before, but this really resonated with me because last week I had the opportunity to host my first in person event called Network Like an Introvert. And when I was thinking about the preparation of the event, I wanted to make sure that I had certain things that I was doing specifically for us because I know that we are deep thinkers and we empathize with the people that we serve. So, one of the first things that I did was to prepare. And prepare is a part of the 4P series that Dr. Jennifer Kahn Weller actually developed. So I'm giving credit to her. She wrote the book called Introverted Leadership. And this was one of the points that she talked about was the 4 P's that I absolutely love, love, love. So like I said, the first P was preparation. And why do we prepare? Well, we're deep thinkers and we need time to collect our thoughts. So one of the first things I wanted to make sure that we did was I gave the some of the questions that we were going to talk about in the event before the event. So that way people could actually prepare and actually have time to kind of think through their answers. Not typically what most people do when it comes to networking, but I know for us that that's something that really resonates with us because we really want to have that time to prepare, to think about it. We're not shoot from the hip kind of people. And if you really want us to give you a profound thought, you want to make sure that you give us time to think about it. So that was the preparation that I did. And you should think about that too. Even when you're going to other meetings where other people that may be extroverted are conducting, why not ask for the questions that are going to be talked about in the meeting so you can be better prepared for it and then be able to really engage with the folks without feeling like you're just sitting there thinking about it. Because I know you got to marinate. I know I got to marinate too. And that was one of the reasons why I did that. So for preparation is very important. The next P is practice. And practice is just to prepare, but it's also allowing you to put your thoughts into action where you're not just thinking about something that you want to talk about, that you're going to actually practice what you're going to say. So this would be a great way for you to make it a point to interact with the people that you're interacting with. If you have a meeting with a client, or even if you have a meeting with a buyer or a vendor of some sort, kind of being able to practice through the questions that you're going to ask so that you would be that more prepared when it comes to that meeting. So you're not going to feel stumped at all because you've already kind of practiced it. So the first one was prepare. The second one was practice. Now this next one, oh, well, maybe I skipped over one. I'm kind of doing these out of order, but that's okay. The next one I'm going to say is push. And push is stepping out your comfort zone. Now, I know many of you probably don't like to go to networking events. I know many of you would rather be home by yourself with a book. But we have businesses to run. We have people to serve. And we have an impact to make on this world. So as a result of that, we have to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone to do some things to help us do what we were meant to do while we're here on this earth. So there are going to be times that you're going to have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and it's a-okay to do that. Now, one of the things that I have learned that when we do these pushing out of the comfort zone, we got to have time to recharge. So if you're going to push yourself out of your comfort zone, make sure you give yourself significant time before as well as after to not totally run down your social battery. So once you push yourself, that you can really take the time to recharge and really do the due diligence to recover and restore yourself back to the full battery of your full social battery. I'll say it that way. So some of the things I like to do that is when I'm having networking meetings, I decide how many networking meetings I'm going to be in for the week. Probably won't do more than 2 because I know that's going to really drain me. So then you're going to be strategic about the meetings that you're interacting with. So kind of think through that when you're thinking about the meetings that you want to conduct with. Now, like I was saying with my Network Like an Introvert meeting, it's only once a month. and still be able to have those one-on-one appointments with potential clients, as well as having those meetings with my clients. But I've spaced it out in a way that allows me to really have time to rejuvenate myself and not overtax myself with so much social activity. So we talked about the preparation, we talked about the practice. We also talked about pushing ourselves out of the comfort zone. So what would be that last but definitely not least element of the 4 Ps? Well, girlfriend, it is to be present, to be able to engage with the folks that you're interacting with. And one of the ways that I have found to do this is to use this, and I think I've used this framework before with you all. It's called nurture, wonder, and inquire. So why do you want to nurture? You're nurturing the connections that you've made before. You are wondering about different people. So you're using your natural curiosity to connect and help people feel seen, to feel heard, and then to feel understood. And then you're going to inquire by asking questions to better connect and get to know them. So how would this work in a particular situation? First and foremost, your notice. So you're going to be cognizant of what people are doing around you, what they're wearing, what they're sharing, what they care about. And as a result of you being cognizant of that, then you're going to use your natural curiosity to wonder about why they do things a certain way or why they decided to do a certain thing. So for example, I was interacting with a colleague of mine, and I noticed her nails, and her nails were a certain color. So the first thing I asked was, okay, what color is that on your nails? Because it was very different the way she had done her nails. She had it in several different ways. Several different colors on her hand. So when I interacted with her, I was asking her about the colors. Did the colors have a certain meaning? What made her choose those colors? So in this interaction of talking to her, just out of natural curiosity, we were really able to connect and really able to get to know one another because of the questions I was asking her. Now, did this take some of my social battery? Yes, ma'am. Was I able to talk to other folks after that? Not as long, but I did it in a way that allowed me to be my authentic self and be naturally curious as I am, but also not to overdrain myself and to the point that I didn't want to be around anybody. So it was a time where I had given myself time to recharge beforehand. And then after I had the interaction with the person, I also gave myself time to recharge after. So think about this when you're doing different networking events. It's definitely more important to have quality connections more so than quantity. So when you're interacting with people, don't feel like you have to talk to everybody in the room, because you don't. You'll find maybe 2 to 3 people that you really connect with, and then build relationships with them after the event. So it's not just a one and done, that you're actually dating your leads. We've talked about this before. You're dating the people that you're talking to. And when I say dating, you're just really getting to know them, know them, similar to what you would do if you were dating. And then at that time, you'll be able to decide if you want to continue to date them. Having different interactions with them, maybe inviting them to a different networking event, maybe inviting them to an online webinar that you are aware of, just basically providing value to them, and then really getting to know them every time that you connect with them, asking versus assuming, being able to assist instead of annoy them, and then attract them to you more so than attack. You're using all of those methodologies to connect with the folks and find out if they're truly your person. And then if they're not, then you'll be able to refer them to possibly someone else based on what they're looking for, or you can just connect with them casually. It doesn't always necessarily have to be about business, because that person can be a mouthpiece for you, that if you continue to further develop that relationship, that they can actually get leads for you. Now, as you know, I'm a firm believer of not relying on one source of lead generation. But I think relationships is a great way for you to expand and grow your business, so you guys can rise. The tide can rise. The tide of entrepreneurship with you and your business and their business can rise together, so you can have that common ground. Okay. So let's go over the 4 P's again. It's prepare. You want to practice. You want to push yourself out of your comfort zone, and you want to be present by engaging with people and asking questions about things that they care about what they're wearing, and what they're sharing. Okay. All right. Well, thanks again for watching, and as always, we'll see.